Welcome to Egypt. So as you could probably see through that clip there, the third piece of the Skion was taken away from whoever owned it because they used it to try and create their own perfect race. And it went wrong. And they instead were imprisoned. So first climb along here. And pull on this lever. Drop down and pull out this block twice. Now be prepared to be pulling and pushing blocks a lot in this level. After pulling this one a second time, then jump up here and pull this one out twice. And then after that, go back down and pull the block one more time so we can get behind it. The only reason I pulled this one first is just so I didn't have to pull it to the left and then pull it out twice, which would have wasted more time than just running here. So climb over and pick up the small medipack and the shotgun, or not the shotgun, sorry, the magnum clips. Now you can climb onto the second block. And use it to jump onto the first main bit of the level. Now as you walk onto this sandy expanse, a black panther is going to spawn behind you. So to stay safe, just run all the way round and climb up here first. And then take out the panther from up here. They take about 24 hits from the pistol, so I do recommend using a stronger gun if you have them later on when you take them on. But at the moment, you're alright, because it couldn't hurt you. So now, climb up onto this block, but do not jump over, because you'll slide down, and then you'll have to face the first mummy of the level. And they are incredibly fast, and they have no cooldown on when they can hurt you. If they hit you, you will get hurt, and they can hit you back to back and almost insta-kill you. So be very, very careful of the mummies in this level. If you're playing on the console, you'll have an extra mummy later on, and I'll tell you where that is. But for now, just take out this one. And then swim in the water to collect these magnum clips, and then behind the pillar to collect the second underwater magnum clips. Then swim over here and climb out. Climb up. And if you look through these windows here, we'll be going in there later. And then run, jump, and grab onto this pillar to collect the shotgun shells, and then make your way down safely, however you like. So I'll jump into the water. Then climb up onto the Sphinx. And make your way under its head. Collect the shotgun shells, the first sapphire key of the level, and then if you're on console, this is your first opportunity to save. At the save crystal that's just here. Now after dropping down, go to the front of the Sphinx and pull out this block once. then use the sapphire key we just obtained to move on to the next room. Another Black Panther will spawn on this room, but as long as you climb up to the right as soon as you come in, like this, then it can't hurt you. And you can pick up the small medipack while you're here. So again, you don't need to waste your stronger guns, but if you want to kill it quicker, feel free. Or waste the ammo, I should say, not the guns. There you go. And we'll be getting up here later on in the level. For now, just make your way up here. Now be careful, because when you get to the end, another Black Panther's going to spawn, but as long as you keep shooting at it and jumping backwards, it shouldn't be able to hurt you very much. If at all. There you go. Just the right length to kill it as well. Now run along. And save here if you're on console. Now you can drop down and take out the crocodile. No need to use any strong guns here, because the crocodile's got the same health as it did in previous levels, which isn't very much. And then pick up this medipack. It feels like you're going to get ambushed from behind, but you don't. It's completely safe. And then to help us later, jump on this slope now and instantly run off the edge so that you don't get hit by the boulder, because we'll be landing on that slope in a bit. Then come over here to get the first secret of the level. After picking up the medipack and clips for the magnums, you can make your way into this pool, turn through here and pull the lever at the end of the tunnel. Then you want to quickly make your way into the next room, because a crocodile is going to spawn from behind you. And if you then climb up onto here, you can take out the crocodile pretty safely. But it does like to hide quite a bit, so you might have to lure it out a lot. There you go, so you can see the crocodile is underneath me, so I'll try to get a lock on. There you go, now that I've killed the crocodile, I can come to the edge here. I can jump and climb up. And then you can see that there's a third save crystal to the right if you're on console, but don't use it just yet, because we're safe while we do this bit. So pull this block twice. There you go, there's the second time. And then after we've pulled the block a second time, back up, jump onto it, and then walk to the edge and do a standing jump up into this alcove. Then jump onto the pedestal, walk to the edge, climb up, and be prepared for an awful sound again when you pull this lever. The same sound that happened when we were in, was it Palace Midas? So now make your way back down. You can either jump into the water, or if you make your way to the further back part of this block, you can then jump onto this one. And then you can, if you want, move the block onto that tile there and then jump across. But it's a lot easier for console players to do this, because this is where the second mummy spawns. It is slightly easier for PC players as well, it just takes a little longer. But it saves you having to jump all the way round in a bit. jump behind the block and push it. And now you'll want to save at the save crystal. Make a running jump over here, and then when you push this block forward one, the mummy will be to your left. You might have to just run in one block just to get the mummy to see you, or spawn. I'm not sure if it spawns when you push the block or when you actually walk on the tile in the next room. But then you can just come off the edge here and drop down, and then come round onto the block and shoot it from here, like that. So once it's safe to go over, yeah, what I meant here is you might have to stand on this block for the mummy to spawn. I can't exactly remember. Pull the lever, which then opens the trapdoor. And this is again why we wanted to access this ledge the way we did rather than the other way, because it makes it easier to push this block. Otherwise what you'd have to do is you'd have to pull the block twice and then do a slightly diagonal jump onto there, which can be a little bit risky. Especially since if you miss, you're most likely going to land on the ground, which is going to hurt. So once you've made your way up, run round this way, and pull this lever. But don't jump down just yet. Instead, we're going to get the next secret by coming over here, doing a running jump, but not running over the edge onto that slope. Instead, landing here to pick up the magnum clips first. Otherwise, you'd have to run all the way back round from the pool, which you don't want to do. Then you can use the slope to come down. And sometimes the secret chime will play now, but this doesn't count as the secret. Instead, jump over here, onto this roof, pick up the magnum clips, then climb onto this slope, walk to the edge, hop backwards, and then do a running jump, but do not hold the action button, otherwise you won't make it, because Lara does a shorter jump when she holds action midair. Now you can hear the secret chimes played properly, and we picked up some more oozy clips. Now you can drop down here. That's why we wanted to activate the boulder earlier as well, otherwise the boulder would have come at you. And then take out the crocodile. And then we want to land on that blue block just there. You can hang down if you want. Now down here there isn't anything for you except a trap, but I'll show you just in case. So as you can see there, what it expects you to do is actually go forward through that slope, and then jump and grab onto that ledge, and then you'd be able to shimmy across. But I went backwards, which meant I couldn't grab onto that ledge. However, if you land on the very edge of the spikes, they can't ever do damage to you, which is why I didn't take any damage just then. But there's nothing down here, so there's no need for you to risk your life. It's just letting you know if it does happen. So again, I can show you how to correctly do it. What it expects to happen is for you to go forward like this, and then grab on like that. But if you do land on the spikes, you'll instantly die and have to run all the way back. Instead, the way you want to go is through this door and pick up the magnum clips here. And now, you'll see that there's a save crystal here on the console edition. I'd recommend not using it yet, and you'll see why in a second, but if you do want to skip ahead in the video just a bit until I get to the corridor where Lara's head is now facing, to then see the mummy and see the strategy for the mummy, you can then decide whether you want to save now or later, just in case. Because we're going to end up fighting quite a few of these Black Panthers, which do a lot of damage, and if you die, our last save was back in the room with the moving blocks in the water. So I'm going to choose to save later and not now. Obviously, if you're on the PC or the remastered edition, I'm assuming you can save whenever, when it comes out, because it wouldn't make sense for them to have save crystals. Just save now and later. So take out the Black Panthers from up here. If you need to, you can drop down like this, and they'll run towards Lara's shadow on the floor, because as long as Lara's shadow is on the same level as an enemy, the enemy will always be drawn to the shadow. So just be patient and take them out from safety, because jumping down isn't worth the risk. There you go. So now what you want to do is come over here, and when you run onto the next tile forward, the door ahead is going to open and let out some Black Panthers. Now there are two strategies. Both of them are fairly tricky, but the first and more unreliable one is to try running onto that grey block there and climbing up so you can shoot them from safety. However, the problem with that is as you're climbing up, they might knock you off because it's low enough for them to reach, and then you'll just take a lot of damage and won't be able to climb up. Or you can just face against both of them at the same time in this room, which is what I'm going to try to do. Once one of them is down, you should be reasonably safe, because taking down the other one is a lot easier, as you can just run away from it until it attacks or growls, and then you can turn around and shoot at it. There you go. So as you can see, they do quite a bit of damage when they do hit you. If you did want to climb onto the stone, I'd recommend making sure that both of them are in this area first before you try to climb up, so then it takes them some time to catch up and gives you more time to climb. Don't forget to pick up that large medipack there. And then climb up here, and do not go through that corridor yet. Instead, run over here, and you'll see that that door opens when you come here. And you'll want to make a running jump and grab to get the final secret of the level. And then since you're back up here, you can take out the Panthers from safety without having to worry about jumping down and getting hurt. Don't try to make a running jump into the pillar in the middle, because it's ever so slightly raised and you won't make the jump. But you can obviously make it from there to here because it is raised, but you can't make it back. There's the first one. The second one I believe is still alive, but I'll have to lure it out. Again, you can hear Lara going oof, but she doesn't actually get hurt unless they attack you. Running into them does no damage. Don't forget to pick up this small medipack as well, because it's easily missable. And then you can climb back up here. And now if you didn't save earlier, make your way back over here to use the save crystal. Or if you're on the PC, save directly in front of the door that we're now about to go through, or the archway. So now that we've saved the game, come back over here, if you're on the console. And be prepared to run through here. Now you'll run left, right, left, and left again, and the mummy will spawn. When the mummy spawns, you'll want to run all the way back here and onto the bridge, because it can't follow you onto the bridge, but it can follow you into here. So this is the strategy that you need to use. So the mummy is now spawned, so run as fast as you can, back out and onto here, and then shoot at the mummy. Now, just keep luring it back. You can hear its footsteps. It's very, very scary. Probably one of the most terrifying enemies in the game. But just take your time trying to kill it, because trying to kill it in the actual room it's in is very, very hard. Have to admit that made me jump. So just keep luring it out as best as you can. I find rolling into there attracts it through, but it doesn't actually... There you go, now it's dead. So I find the best strategy is to run from here, roll there so it draws its attention, instantly run back and turn around. And usually it won't run through, but it's close enough that you can now run onto this block here, wait for it to come out, and then back up and start shooting at it. And as long as you're on the bridge, it shouldn't hurt you. If you're on the very edge of the bridge like I am here, it might do. But as long as you're around here, you should be safe. Now that the mummy is taken care of, you can come into this room. Now this is the large room, which you think is really, really good for fighting it. However, considering how fast the mummy is, it can just run straight up behind you. If you're running and jumping, it can still catch up to you, and then it'll attack you while you're in the air. You'll get pushed to the corner of the room, get cornered, die. It will just go horribly wrong because, like I said, they can chain attacks with you. So if it runs into you, it will pretty much always damage you. You'll hardly ever just hear Lara grunt but not actually take any damage. If you really wanted to, you could also come in here and try to climb up and then kill it from up here, which I have managed to do once when I was on half the amount of health that I'm on now. But it's so hard to do, and it's likely going to kill you when you're coming round. So the way I just showed you is the most reliable way to do it without using stronger weapons. Now that you've taken it out, you can climb up here. And that's the hardest bit of the level done, so you can relax now. Climb up onto here and pick up the second sapphire key of the level. And if you look through there as well, you'll see that that's where we were earlier, when the second mummy spawned if you're playing on the console, but on the PC, nothing was there. Then you can come over here, and please take care with these jumps. As you can see, we were in this room earlier. But if you mess up these jumps and you're on the console, you have to fight the mummy again, which just isn't fun. Could be fun the first time, but having to do it over and over, not very. After you've picked up the magnum clips, safely jump over here and pull the lever for a lot quieter sound than usual. And then make your way back into the room we were just in, and you'll see that the sand has now collapsed. So either roll and grab off the edge, or backstep and grab, but don't just run, because you'll miss this slope and you'll take a lot of damage. And now we're back in this room that the mummy was in, but as you can see, all of the sand has flown in. So run up this slope, and then as you can see, I'm pushing forward, but Lara can't make it up because the slope's too steep, so just do a standing jump and she'll go over it. And then use the sapphire key on these doors, and we can finish the level. If you'd like, you can look through here as well, and see this is where we just jumped overhead, and where we took out the Black Panther earlier. So now we can leave the level with 14 kills, or 15 if you're on the console, 24 pickups, and all 3 secrets. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.